March 23, 2:35 p.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Und damit BAM! Leute, und herzlich willkommen zurück zum letzten Part, zum allerletzten Part von Felix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Wir sind hier wieder im Gerichtssaal bei unserem letzten Fall, wo wir En Garde irgendwie dran kriegen müssen. Aber so einfach ist das eben nicht, denn Maya ist immer noch als Geisel quasi beim Assassinen. Und bevor wir Maya nicht gerettet haben, können wir diesen Schlingel leider nicht einbuchten. Ja, mal gucken, wie unsere Helden Edgeworth und Phoenix das handeln werden. Und der Judge ist natürlich auch dabei. Na, wie geht's nach dieser Pause? Ja, gut? Nee? Okay. Glatze sitzt auf jeden Fall. Der Bart auch. Schön. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Was war das? Was war letztes Mal, glaube ich? Ich glaube, wir wollten irgendwelche Tests machen, oder? Und zwar genau die Handschrift-Tests, ne? Ob das wirklich die Suicide Note von Celeste war. Wahrscheinlich ist sie es sowieso, aber es ging ja nur darum, um Zeit zu verschaffen. Und genau, Gumshoe hat das Versteck gefunden, das zweite, aber der Assassin ist schon wieder entkommen. Aber er hat scheinbar irgendwelche geilen Beweisstücke gefunden, ist sofort zu uns geeilt und hat sich gleichzeitig noch in den Unfall verwickelt. Das heißt, Gumshoe ist am Arsch. So, und wir haben immer noch nichts. Und die Pause ist vorbei und jetzt ist Scheiße. It looks like something unexpected happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. Oh. Okay, also doch nicht. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It is a fake. Okay. Oder lügt er etwa? Man weiß es nicht. Order, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impact, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Johan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. It looks like Miss Impact never left the suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about En Garde. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. En Garde could not have known that, and so that fact remains unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. His theory that En Garde had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Also wusste En Garde, dass es fake war? Moment, was haben wir denn für Evidence? Oh, wir kriegen sogar Schaden. Scheiße. Das hier was nicht zu tun. Ja, En Garde war ja mit Celeste zusammen, ne? Aber... Naja, er hat ja... Ich mach mal back... Wobei, es klingt eigentlich schon so, als ob ich... Aber ich wüsste nicht was. Ich mach mal hier, ne? It's no use. Something feels wrong, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Oh, das klingt nicht gut. Okay, der Judge ist wahrscheinlich smarter als ich.
Actually, there is something I would like to ask. Mr. Edgeworth, you had stated something earlier to the effect of the defendant had spied on Mr. Corrida's private life.
Das wollte ich nämlich auch sagen. Hat er doch die Kamera, oder? Dann ja gut, muss nicht heißen, ne? Aber könnte es eventuell gewusst haben. Okay. Gut, dass der Judge das für mich macht, weil ich hätte vielleicht sogar noch Schaden bekommen.
I believe this would mean that he would have known about the note as well. That's it.
Yes, and so naturally, this means Mr. En Garde would have known that the note was a fake. Okay.
Order! See here, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
I was the one who thought of the spying thing. Jumping in and stealing my thunder like that is simply... I can't even describe it.
Yes, sorry. Krieg ich jetzt Schaden? Mann.
I could have even bragged about embarrassing Mr. Edgeworth to my grandchild had you not. For that, I assign you a penalty, Mr. Wright.
Okay. Ja gut, immerhin nur eine Penalty, ja. Vielleicht hätte ich ja mehrere gekriegt, wenn ich es selber versucht hätte. What? If I only had kept my mouth shut. Ja, okay, aber es ist in Ordnung.
So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way.
Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. En Garde's motive for murder was, it had suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. En Garde monitored Mr. Corrida 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote a note in a place Mr. En Garde didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Ja, jetzt drehen wir mal das Spiel um, Edgeworth.
Order, Mr. Edgeworth. It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave.
As I figured.
Huh? As you figured?
As I figured, it came down to this after all.
Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense.
When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next?
What next?
If the prosecution can't prove Mr. En Garde's motive through the evidence, they must prove it from another angle.
Well, I agree with you there.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time.
Oh, well, that's fine.
However, this witness is a little unusual.
Edgeworth stuttering is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth?
This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder. That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness?
It's...
Yes, go on. Who is it?
The man himself. Mr. Shelley the killer.
Oh, Mr. the killer. But wait, Shelley the killer? You mean the killer? I mean, the assassin?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's coming here to the witness stand?
Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission.
Well, Mr. Wright,
Yes?
is that alright with you?
Do I have a choice here? Can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor.
I wonder if it really is alright to do this.
Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand.
Ashworth, is there no other way left to us?
Now then, witness. Your name and your occupation, please. Aha. War's, das Radio. Die ganze Zeit.
Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here?
Your Honor?
How can you remain so calm, and what is the meaning of this two-way radio?
Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as you do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So, this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about.
Oh, no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, you can't even be sure this really is Mr. the Killer himself.
Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelley the Killer.
I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya! A voice, Mr. Wright. Can you confirm anything from this?
The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer.
It looks like we have to run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so...
Now then, witness. There is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else.
And what would that be?
At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Johan Corrida. Is that correct?
It is, as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida.
Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client.
Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say?
About my client. Er will doch jetzt nicht einfach sein Client verraten, oder?
There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client.
Okay.
Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us.
Ashworth's Finger ist zurück. Okay. Gutes Zeichen. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He's no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief.
You mean about his trust between his clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix.
Ja, eigentlich ist es ja noch gar kein Testimony, das... Okay. Ja, egal, wir nehmen den Radio auseinander. Okay. Ja, kann ich sehr viel machen mit dieser Aussage. Okay, dann erzähl mal ein bisschen davon.
The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome.
And that is why you're trying to testify in this manner.
This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me.
Couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? Moment, hat er jetzt nicht gerade... Hat er sie jetzt eigentlich nicht gerade verraten? Er hat doch gesagt, es ist das erste Mal, als mein Klient des Mordes angeklagt wurde. Ja, überlegen wir mal, wer wurde denn jetzt angeklagt? Aha, das war doch eine Confession. Mann, ist der dumm. Aber gut, hat scheinbar niemand anderes mitbekommen. Okay. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust?
It has never happened before, but if it ever did... yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly...
That's enough. Please, no more.
Very well. It was only a hypothetical. Anyway.
And that is the reason I am here today in this witness stand. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them.
It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role.
Their role?
This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven.
You... who gave you the right to be so high and mighty?
To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die?
No, I didn't say anything.
That had better watch himself. Okay. Er hat sich nicht an die Abmachung gehalten, okay. Ja, ich habe das Konzept verstanden.
We understand, so please tell us the name of your client.
I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do.
That egomaniacal...
It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you.
Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff, just tell us the name already. Patience, try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know.
Na gut, dann drücken wir alles mal.
You can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients?
I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means?
Sorry, go on. Well, it appears that this is one witness you can badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about my situation.
Okay, Moment, jetzt habe ich doch alles schon...
Soll ich das nochmal drücken? Er hat ja vorhin gesagt... Moment. Ich drücke das nochmal. The trust between you and your client. Ja, efficient manner in exchange. The trust by these are the rules. Genau, er hat ja gesagt, ne, ist ja scheiße. Okay. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules.
A person who frames another is the worst kind of human.
And that's how you feel you can betray this person?
I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role.
Just my luck, an assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured?
Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic?
This case just keeps getting better and better.
If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe you are ready. Excellent. Okay. Okay, now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client. Don't you agree?
Das ist alles sehr seltsam hier. Ja, okay, mach doch einfach. What is it?
Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Young Corridor? That person's name is... Spannung. Adrian Andrews.
What? Witness.
That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews.
What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience, in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Matt on guard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelley the Killer.
My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal.
Wow. All of a sudden it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. Prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided a suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt on guard is innocent.
I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please, continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict.
Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. But now, with the way this is going, our guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And on guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shall the killer is certainly lying under oath.
It wasn't me. Well, listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And you on staff, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, You have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donned in a nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. You know that Miss Celeste Pax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story, who the real killer is. Tell them. Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe you have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Ja, also, ne? Und Maya hat uns ja auch schon, ne? Die Notiz hinterlassen. Wir sollen den bösen Mann gefälligst einbuchten. So nämlich. Phoenix? I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept the not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But my own God is a killer. A murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than on guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I am not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer.
Right away, Your Honor. Has the verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are. That is how things are usually done.
What is he talking about? Usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now?
Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. Your legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court?
About my client, part 2.
As I have already stated quite a few times, Agent Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Johan Carita was dead. But even more appalling? Keine Ahnung, is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules.
It's the most unexpected turn of events. For the, fifth time now? However, this time, everything has finally been revealed.
Bats! Just a second, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
We still have the cross-examination to do.
But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here.
Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies in that oh-so beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes two of us. Aber vor allem, ist es nicht ein bisschen ja, scheiße jetzt für uns, wenn wir vor seinen, ja nicht vor seinen Augen, vor seinen Ohren quasi, ihn fertig machen wollen. Es wird ihm ja nicht gefallen, dem The Killer. Na, mal gucken, was er dazu sagt. Okay. Ist mein Client. Wir pressen einfach alles durch.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. Ja, eben, genau das meinte ich. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes. How much is your fee? Aber das ist tatsächlich ein guter Punkt. I see you're also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you'd like to talk business, we can do that. We can do so after the trial. No, I'm not thinking of hiring.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
You want to kill me? You want me dead, don't you?
What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor?
Guilty. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you are hereby declared guilty.
Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? Okay. Ich hätte jetzt vielleicht gedacht, ja, weil wir das Cash haben wir gesehen und vielleicht, naja, egal. Oder besser gesagt, ne, der, wie ist er nochmal? Der andere Dude, der Steel Samurai. Ich hab's vergessen. Mann. Egal. Tampering with the scene of the crime. I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah, well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this: even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. Frame another for the crime. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make these things as easy as possible.
You try to make things easy?
My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, That is something I cannot overlook.
It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. Ja, man sieht seine Mimik halt nicht, ne? While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing?
That is correct. Usually most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too.
No, I already told you I have no intention of using your services ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one in trial here? Okay, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Johan Corrida was dead. Das klingt irgendwie fishy. Moment, das ist so ein... Das Statement hat so ein ja, das ist bestimmt der Punkt, wo wir was machen müssen. Already knew from the very beginning. Das klingt schon so fishy. Sie hatte ja schon ausgesagt, ne? Als sie reingekommen ist, dachte sie nicht, dass er tot ist. Aber wie können wir das beweisen? Können wir das beweisen irgendwie? Vielleicht mit dem Weinglas, weil wenn sie wusste, dass er tot war, ne, dann hätte sie sich ja nicht ein Glas eingeschenkt und damit noch Fingerabdrücke kreiert, ne? Das wäre ja mega dumm. Übel dumm. Sondern wenn sie wusste, dass er tot ist, dann, ja, keine Ahnung, was hätte sie denn sonst gemacht? Ja, halt sich kein Glas eingeschenkt. Sondern direkt hier gestabbt und bla. Können wir hier mit was machen? Button. Wir gucken erstmal weiter, es gibt ja noch mehr. Habe ich das eigentlich schon gedrückt? Ich glaube nicht, oder? From the very beginning.
That is correct. From before my client visited the room, all of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times.
I wonder if that's really true.
That's odd.
Okay, Edgeworth sagt, that's odd, aber mehr nicht. Aber vielleicht ein Hinweis an uns, dass es wirklich da was fishy ist, ja. So, wir gucken uns aber erstmal weiter an. But even more, does this water again, the creation and planting of the knife and button. So why do you think your client did that?
What do you mean by why?
Well, feeling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true.
I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Engard.
If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it?
Sadly, that is not possible.
Huh?
My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. If they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall.
That is what I'm referring when I say client broken the rules, yeah. And that's all you have to testify.
Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again.
Again? As in you plan to continue?
I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney?
Excuse me? No, I'm fine, really. Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize that will be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet. Also, wir gehen hierhin, ne? Und ich würde fast schon sagen, das macht halt schon viel Sinn, ne?
Found next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice, bears Andrews fingerprints. Können wir sonst noch was machen? Crime Photo. Das könnt ihr vielleicht. Das ist ja nicht so, wie sie es vorgefunden hat. Ne? Sie hat ja das Knife reingedrückt. Das heißt, es gab keine Wunde. Das heißt, er hat einfach nur geschlafen. Ne? Noch das Foto. Nee, ne? Ja, ich würde sagen, wir drücken das. Das macht am meisten Sinn, oder? Yeah, baby! Objection! Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that you and Corita had been murdered.
But how? How do you know that?
From this wine glass, Your Honor.
The glass?
Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Corita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim.
But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan?
That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would have never left their fingerprints behind.
I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
Strangely enough, I had the same exact thoughts just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I am afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corita's death. If not, then I can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange.
Yes?
Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation?
Phoenix, if the killer figures out what you're up to, we're in real trouble.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Eigentlich haben wir es exakt. Sorry.
Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you.
Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. Prosecution Quests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well.
Right now I have to buy us more time.
While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Ja, Gamschuh, du musst es packen. Ich muss hier, by the way, noch mal ein Schlückchen trinken. So, weiter geht die wilde Fahrt. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So you physically met your client, huh?
That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Request taking. A week ago. 1 week ago? Are you sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. Specific date and time. Das klingt schon wieder nach einem Schwachpunkt. Must request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night? I try to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request, but as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? Just further let it go. Ja, immer raus damit. So, what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Yuan Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. Must be talking about this bear puzzle. So that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its content at the press conference after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Bestimmt. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is... the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet?
Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that.
Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony.
Okay, normalerweise, wenn Sie fragen, ist es wichtig, muss man immer Ja drücken, damit man zusätzliches Testimony kriegt, das man drücken kann. Aber gut, diesmal scheinbar nicht.
Genau das hatten wir, jetzt das. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Oh. Of course I did.
Moment.
What was that? What was that? The brief pause. Press further.
Stimmt, er hat's ja noch gar nicht gesehen. Er kennt Adrian Andrews ja gar nicht. Stell ihm einfach eine Frage und über sie und der ist am Arsch.
Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. Why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Yes. Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. the Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken.
So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews?
I guess so. You see, it is just as I said.
I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue?
Okay, Okay, wir pressen nochmal das letzte.
Made no mistakes.
So the client was Adrian Andrews. That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around.
You have to draw more information from him. But you can draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about delicate balance. Okay, maybe, weil wir jetzt vielleicht ein paar Sachen gepresst haben, können wir nochmal irgendwo was pressen. Ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass es etwas damit zu tun hat. Er behauptet, sie haben sich getroffen. Das heißt, er sollte Adrian Andrews kennen. Haben sie aber nicht. Sie haben sich ja nicht wirklich getroffen. Das heißt, eigentlich müssen wir ihm irgendwie etwas herauslocken, das verratet, dass er sie gar nicht wirklich getroffen hat. Und dann ist Ende. Also wir müssen irgendwie Informationen über Adrian Andrews von ihm kriegen. Die dann hoffentlich falsch sind. Ich drück das nochmal. Da konnten wir vorhin auch noch was drücken. Falsch. Did you ask why on that specific night? Ja, das hatten wir schon. No, I try to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. Ja. Suspicions. Ich drück mal let it go. Mal gucken, was passiert. If I ask about them, it would be only a guess. I see. That's fine then. Okay, das war ziemlich underwhelming. Okay, dann drücken wir nochmal das andere, ne? Press further. So, what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. Ja, das kennen wir auch schon. My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Johan Corrida's room. That item for me. It's a suicide note, naturally. Explaining. That's correct. I see. Of any importance. It's not important. Sie haben noch das Gleiche. Sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think it's very important. Well then, witness, please continue. Puh, Alter, das ist schwierig, ey. Ich drück nochmal. Ich mach mal let it go. It's probably just my imagination. I need to find something more definitive to catch this guy up. Can you believe that your testimony up to this point has been reliable? Ich drück nochmal das erste. Ich will jedes Statement zweimal drücken. 1 week ago, are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. Preparations, as well as finish. Yeah, okay. Specific date and time. Nee, ist alles. Ich will noch mal diese beiden Statements nochmal drücken und bei beiden nochmal sagen, es ist important. Weil ich sehe nicht, ich glaube nicht, dass ich jetzt schon was präsenten kann. Irgendwie, ich bin so ein bisschen stuck. Ja, das Bear-Puzzle, ja, bla bla bla. Und jetzt sage ich nochmal, it was very important. And that is...
Ja, kennen wir schon. Okay. So, genau, dann das nochmal. So, nochmal Press Further. Firma Details. Telephone or mail, and why is that? Speak to the client while looking them in the eye. That's very important. Mhm. Think carefully and relax. Okay, also wir können nichts pressen. Wir müssen irgendwas präsenten. We met at a certain bar. Ich bin wirklich lost gerade. About a week ago. Okay, mit der Figur irgendwas machen. Only Corrida and Andrews know how to open it. Da war die Suicide Note drin. Found inside a figurine. Mansion, bla bla bla. Nee, das auch nicht. Ich habe echt keinen Plan, Leute. Ich sehe es nicht. Das ist verdammt hart. Ich habe null Plan, was ich... Nicht mal einen Ansatz. Wie gesagt, also ja, ich habe einen Ansatz, habe ich ja vorhin erklärt, aber dass er sich irgendwie, keine Ahnung, verplappern soll über Adrian, weil er sie ja gar nicht wirklich getroffen hat. Eigentlich, aber er verplappert sich halt nicht. Er hat ja noch gar nichts zu ihr gesagt. Irgendwie, keine Ahnung, wie sie aussieht oder so. Das wäre halt mega schmackhaft, wenn er einfach sagen würde, yo, sie hat, keine Ahnung, schwarze Haare und dann bam, Junge, why you lying, bitch? Auch schön, dass die beiden separat aufgeführt sind. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. Also da haben wir gepresst, warum? Und er meinte ja wegen dem Bären. Aber warum will sie den Bären? Sie wusste ja gar nicht. Ich wusste ja gar nicht, dass da was drin ist. Was ich machen könnte... Ich meine, es ist zwar eigentlich keine Objection, aber ich könnte es einfach mal probieren, einfach mal auf gut Glück ihr Profil zu drücken. Vielleicht fragt dann Phoenix etwas zu ihr und oder so, keine Ahnung, aber ich glaube nicht.
Nee. Das war's nicht. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence and the statement just now related? They aren't they? Not at all. Mr. Wright, please think the facts over before making accusations. Ja, ich hab keine Ahnung, Leute. Made no mistakes. About a week ago. Soll ich das irgendwie pressen mal? Keine Ahnung, nee, ich hab keinen Plan, ich presse einfach mal irgendwas. Nö. Okay, na dann. Ich hätte speichern sollen. Whoops. Naja, dann darf ich jetzt halt nochmal alles hier hinspielen. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. Nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for a misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, met en garde. Es macht zwar irgendwie keinen Sinn, weil eigentlich sind wir jetzt ist der Judge ja jetzt eigentlich der Meinung, dass Adrian schuldig ist und nicht Matt. Aber okay. Ja, dann ist Court is adjourned. Ja, bin ich eigentlich zufrieden mit dem Ergebnis. Jo, Leute. Das war's mit Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Wir haben Matt dran gekriegt. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Let's Play wieder, ne? Tschüssi. Wir sehen uns gleich wieder. Oh, wait, warte mal, wir haben hier einen neuen Text. Hi Leute, scheinbar sind wir wieder zurück. Ich habe ja nochmal alles durchgeklickt. Und scheinbar habe ich hier einen neuen Text bekommen. Habe ich nie angeklickt, das war nicht important? Habe ich doch angeklickt, oder nicht? Okay, wir haben einen neuen Text bekommen. Irgendwie Stop sidestepping my questions oder so, hat Phoenix gesagt. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. Ja, okay. Wie habe ich das verpasst? Ich dachte, ich hätte alles gedrückt und dann... Okay, ja. Ne? Das, was ich schon vermutet hatte. Er hat sich verplappert jetzt. Him. Es ist kein him, es ist eine her. That's when I thought I can trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Yep. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought I can trust this person as a client. Ja. Alles klar. You effed up, bro.
because it's a girl. Hat sie noch nie in seinem Leben gesehen. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So, what is the issue? What did you just say now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Oh! Okay, Radio ist weg, kaputt.
Order in the court, Mr. Wright. What is the meaning of this?
This witness testified to the following: that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their request.
But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person.
Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Er schwitzt Scheiße. Ja, oder Öl.
Mr. Ashworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake?
I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor.
Her name?
Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt the very androgynous, keine Ahnung wie man das ausspricht, name.
Yes, I see.
Luckily for Mr. Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Andrews' gender. And so we simply picked the wrong gender to go with.
What is going on? Shelley the Killer. This court demands an explanation.
I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more.
I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time, please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth.
Request taking, part 2. Alright, wir sind wieder im Game. Yes, now I remember, I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. Aha, obwohl du vorhin genau das Gegenteil behauptet hast. The request was for the murder of Johan Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I found my client to be a man.
So he took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony.
Which means he's still lying.
Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us.
I know I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like we can do this.
As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination.
Request by mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now. Let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess.
Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client?
Do we have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client? Nein, hat ihn ja nicht getroffen. I don't have any proof. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof.
I see. Your line of questioning was just another waste of time.
Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I've been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities.
Nice business opportunities?
On top of which the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined now take requests via electronic mail.
Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope?
I am very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what commonly referred to as email.
Email?
In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and? The request was for the murder of young Rita and 2 or 3 other small things. Aha, und was ist das? Der Bär und noch irgendwas. 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case.
What should I do? Should I let him slide of that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad.
Wir lassen es mal, aber wir behalten es im Hinterkopf. Drücken erstmal den anderen Scheiß durch.
The killer sounds like one sharp man. I should try to find a better way to do this without making him suspicious. Let's continue with the testimony. Witness, if you please.
I thought my client to be a man. So you're saying that you never saw your client's face? Not even once? I did. Once. It was when I went to give my client a figurine.
Ja, aber dann wüsstest du doch, dass es ein Mann ist. Dass er eine Frau ist. Dass sie eine Frau ist. Mann! Yes, I see.
Ach, ja, genau, okay. Nee, da macht Sinn.
But Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. A mask? Nickel samurai mask, I'm guessing. Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Gibt es ein Problem? Naja, es könnte halt auch Matt on Guard gewesen sein, wenn wir vom Kostüm sprechen. Das heißt, der Killer wusste gar nicht, ob es wirklich Adrian war, sondern er hat es einfach dem Dude gegeben mit dem Kostüm. Könnte auch Matt gewesen sein. Soll ich da... Ich mache erstmal No Objections. Ich will mal gucken, ob Mia noch was sagt. I think I can pull something out of what he said. But it would be real bad if I did something and made him mad over something trivial. There are no problems with the testimony, Your Honor.
We've pretty much reached the end of our rope here.
Huh? Seems like we're still okay to me.
And that's exactly what is so bad. At the rate we're going, we will end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation that will put us in.
Oh, yeah.
All I can do now is pray that those items reach us in time. Also hier gab es was, aber das ist Quatsch. Moment, irgendwo gab es noch was, was wir uns im Hinterkopf behalten wollten. Hier, ne? Das, oh, also wirklich nachfragen, was das ist. Was er noch geben wollte. Oder eine Objection raisen. Ich probiere mal. Ja, eine Objection ist halt schon krasser, ne? Ich probiere mal das Pressen. Ist weniger schlimm, wenn ich das mache. Press further. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one? Wait! Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. Shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Oh Mann. Frag mich doch nicht zweimal. Das ist unfair. Ja. Komm. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what those other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Corrida's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client. Interesting. Ja, warum ist es dann in On Guard Mansion? This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. I found this figurine at Mr. Onguard's mansion. If he gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was he doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Onguard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? Haben wir ein Problem damit, dass der Bär in On Guard Mansion war? Ich glaube nicht, ne? Ich glaube, da fahren wir mit der anderen Objection besser. Vor allem, jetzt haben wir die Information auch wirklich, also jetzt haben wir sie nochmal klarer gekriegt, dass er wirklich dem Bär, ne, ihr gegeben hat. Da würde ich, glaube ich, lieber das letzte drücken. Die letzte Objection. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing this witness anymore would be extremely dangerous. It appears that Mr. Wright has no problems. Well then, witness, please continue. So, genau, not in once. Yeah, once when I went to give my client the figurine. A mask. Ich könnte, ja, komm, ich gehe einfach mal damit, dass es eventuell auch Matt sein könnte, weil er hat auch das Kostüm an. Oh, die Musik hört nicht auf, das ist kein gutes Zeichen. One thing does sort of stick out at me, Your Honor. Witness, I think you most definitely saw your client's face. Okay, das denke ich nicht. Let's recall Mr. Power's testimony. After the remote ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in samurai costume. Matt gave the bellboy a tip. He received quite a large roll of cash from Mr. En Garde, and at the time, he was not wearing his nickel samurai mask. Oh. Okay, guter Punkt. Danke, Phoenix. Das habe ich gar nicht mehr auf dem Schirm gehabt. Dass das Treffen ja auch noch stattgefunden hat. Order. Yes, now that you mention it, I do remember that. Witness.
Yes, that night I did wander the floor as a bellboy. I received plenty of tips that night for carrying juice to the various rooms. Is that so wrong? Huh? The man who gave me that tip was not my client. He was probably just a very generous person.
I'm sorry, but sadly we are not nearly so generous here. If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? The déjà vu. And isn't his salary more than enough for one man? Where's the evidence that the large roll of cash was not in fact a tip? Come, Mr. Edgeworth, show me the money. What?
Mr. Attorney? Yes? You know, I think your line of questioning has been a little strange. In fact, I would say you don't seem to believe Miss Andrews is my client.
Oh, no, it's not like that at all. I just think lies aren't a good thing, you know?
Oh, I know and agree. Lies are not a good thing at all. I think we are on the same page now, aren't we, Mr. Attorney? Remember, if I feel threatened in any way, I am free to cut contact at any time.
I'm sorry, please forgive my foolishness. If only you were this apologetic all the time. Anyway, I do not see a huge contradiction here. Therefore, you may continue, witness. Ja. Okay, gestern drücken wir die andere Contradiction. Was war das andere? 2 or 3 other small things. Kannst du mir nicht sagen, was das andere noch war? Ich presse nochmal hier. All these other things, a few other things that have nothing to do with this case. Okay, können wir nicht mehr. Okay, also dann hier nochmal. Es gibt eigentlich kein Problem damit. Oh God, mention, if you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was he doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan. I'm sure. Nee, ich habe eigentlich keine Probleme, aber was anderes habe ich gerade nicht. Von da muss ich probieren. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews. But I know somewhere in that statement there is a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, he will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So now what, Miss Dr. Wright? Think it over again. Okay, also die Tatsache, dass Phoenix gesagt hat, er spürt was, glaube ich, dass es richtig ist. Haben wir denn was? Also, was ist verkehrt damit, dass die sich in En Garde Mansion getroffen haben, um Matt zu framen? Wir brauchen Evidence. Nö.
Wir gehen alles durch, ne? Post-Ceremony Stage Show. Hat nichts damit zu tun. Die Kamera. Auch nichts damit zu tun. Crime Photo. Nee. German Ninjas Button. Nee. Irgendwas mit der Kamera? Aber Moment, ist das nicht... Es klingt irgendwie komisch, dass sie zur En-Garde-Menschen gehen, weil eigentlich ist das ja... Was wenn sie erwischt werden dort? Das ist ja irgendwie mega kacke. Oder was, wenn das Video überwacht ist? Habe ich mir jetzt gerade gedacht, als ich die Kamera gesehen habe. Es wäre dann nicht so ein smarter Move, einfach in eine Villa reinzuspazieren. Wenn alles dann auf Band wäre. Aber ich weiß nicht, ob es Überwachungskamera hat. Das haben wir nicht. Der Bär. Vielleicht... Moment. Ah! Wenn sie das gemacht haben, um En Garde zu framen. Das würde ja keinen Sinn machen, weil En Garde kann ja die Figur gar nicht öffnen. Das kann nur Adrian öffnen. Okay, ich versuch's. Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at En Garde Mansion. Is that correct? Yes, where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly. What? Atref ist ruhig. This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. Okay, wir verlieren nur Leben, ja, dann ist ja nicht so schlimm. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Jetzt ist sie wieder anders formuliert. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Warum soll Andrews nicht den Bär bekommen haben? Weil sie ihn sonst geöffnet hätte vielleicht. Sonst wäre es nicht noch immer verschlossen gewesen. Sie hätte ja die Suicide Note rausnehmen wollen. Sonst wäre es ja noch drin. Soll ich das pressen oder das? Hier steht halt nur Andrews know how to open it. Ich probier's. Das war falsch. Oh! Shall the killer? If I'd really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yup, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. I was going to burn it for her sake. If even for a single minute this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it.
Order, order, order! So, that's where you two are going?
So by the very fact that this suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle.
Which means...
It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client.
Order, order, order! Mr. Phoenix, Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of your agreement.
No, that's not...
That's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do.
Wait, please!
Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
No, please! Not that, please wait!
Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough?
Well, we should...
Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll...
Prosecution,
What has come over everyone? Even you are...
The prosecution rests.
What is going on around here?
Prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor.
What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then, even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. De Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Charlotte De Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
If I end the trial here right now, then your client, Matt on guard, would be declared innocent, and in his place Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews will be charged with murder. Prosecution has no further questions, so we'll now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt on guard, to the stand. The items from the killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands.
Ja, dankeschön. Du kleine Arschtüte.
Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person.
Wow.
You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. On guard. What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap, it's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already? Right, Mr. Lawyer?
Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life?
You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay?
But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Madame Guard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you?
Right.
I can't do this.
But I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Madame Guard, is... Ja, und ich würde sagen, Leute, an der Stelle beenden wir doch mal die Folge mit einem Cliffhanger. Nee, Spaß. Nein, mache ich doch nicht, oder? Nee. Nee. Wir entscheiden uns natürlich für Maya. Aber nicht in dem Sinne, sondern sie will, dass wir ihn hinter Gitter bringen. Wie schon erwähnt. Und wir bleiben dabei. Der Arsch ist... Huch. Ja, Controller, genau, so sieht's aus. Der Arsch ist schuldig.
We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Madame Guard, your client deserves an answer.
Maya, I'm sorry. Madame Guard is... Franziska von Karma.
What are you doing? Ow!
You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, do you have them? You should know better than to ask, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. F. von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this.
What a filthy old coat this is.
Coat. It's gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence.
Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial.
What? Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence, down to the last. I request that Miss von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence.
I suppose you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss von Karma, if you please.
These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police.
You must have been in quite a rush.
Yes, Your Honor, the killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? A pistol. Så wurde keine Pistole verwendet. Oder? Kommt irgendwo eine Pistole ins Spiel. Gut, ich meine, question for more details können wir ja ruhig machen, denn das sollte ja kein Problem sein. Does the pistol has any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't see anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case, at least with me. Ach ja, sie wurde ja angeschossen. That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. I kept the bullets as I removed from my shoulder memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Franziska. It's probably not going to help us very much. Ja, es hat ja, am Mord hat es ja trotzdem nichts zu tun, ne? Pistol, small caliber pistol that is thought to have been fired by the killer at Franziska. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from Ongar Mansion. A definitive question. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important.
Why would you say that?
Because he came back to his hideout for it.
The killer went back for it?
That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Shelly the killer is no ordinary man.
Videotape. One of the items retrieved. The killer violently tried to recover it. Contents unknown.
Also das ist ein Videotape von Ongar's Mansion. Okay, Ja, könnte vielleicht nützlich sein, je nachdem was drauf ist. Wahrscheinlich der Mord, ne? Er hat ja das schön aufgenommen mit seiner Kamera, ne? Aber was bringt uns das? Huch, da bin ich kurz gegen den Tisch gekommen. Okay, the last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Question. Was that used during the crime? I am almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets.
There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder.
There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There is a button missing on this uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. Okay, Bellboy's uniform. Worn by the killer on the night of the murder, one of its special buttons is missing. Ist das unser Button? Nee, ne? That is all I have to present, Your Honor.
It's just as I thought.
What is that, Your Honor?
I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items found from Shelley the killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing.
It is who is the client.
Yes, that is correct. These 3 items do not tell us anything about that.
Dizzy spielt Pokémon Unite. Nice. Spiele ich auch, by the way. Könnt mich gerne adden.
Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now.
Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence.
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful, absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix? I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now.
But no matter how you think about it, it's...
Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us.
2?
The first... Make our God wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict.
Huh?
The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If our God himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go.
That may be true, but... It's asking me to do the impossible.
The second way... Force the killer to end his contract with En Garde. If the killer were to no longer think of En Garde as his client, then he would let Maya go.
Yeah, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else.
I know, both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle.
The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just showed, he's not accepting them.
Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked out for us?
The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean, turn things around?
Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution and the judge. We have seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I've already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence.
Saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Then you want to show the evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such a passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance?
Please show your evidence. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
That's impossible to turn the situation around in one try.
One try, that is all I will permit. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking En Garde down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to?
Wer hat die Evidence noch nicht gesehen? Shelly hat sie eigentlich noch nicht gesehen. Ansonsten, wir sind hier alle anwesend. Wobei... Er hat sie ja schon gesehen. Er ist ja mit ihnen geflüchtet. Wem wollen wir Evidence zeigen? Also warte, mir hat gesagt, wir müssen entweder Matt dazu bringen, aufzugeben. Von sich aus. Oder wir müssen Shelly dazu bringen, dass er keinen Bock mehr hat auf Matt. Das heißt, im Umkehrschluss, wir müssen entweder Matt oder Shelly was zeigen. Wen nehmen wir? Ich würde sagen, Matt sitzt ja eigentlich hier direkt im Saal. Das heißt, er sieht die Evidenz ja eh schon. Ich drücke einfach mal Shelly. Komm. Oder? Weil er ist jetzt nicht physisch hier. Er sieht ja nicht, was wir hier diskutieren. Ich glaube, ist die Connection überhaupt noch da? Vielleicht hat er auch nicht mal was mitgehört. Das kann natürlich auch sein, das weiß ich gerade gar nicht. Hat er das Ganze mitgehört? Dass wir neue Evidence bekommen haben? Ich denke fast... Nein, oder? Ja, Matt oder Shelly? Wen drücken wir? Und die neue Evidence, die wir bekommen haben, das sind die drei. Die Uniform. Ein Knopf fehlt. Können wir uns einen Knopf mal angucken? Sagt uns das irgendwas? Nee, das ist nicht so ein Uniformknopf. Der ist definitiv vom Nickel Samurai Kostüm. Den Knopf, den wir gesehen hatten, der hatte irgendwie so eine fancy Gravur oder so noch drin. Also, irgendein Knopf, der fehlt. Es scheint irgendwie nicht so. Das Tape. Wäre natürlich geil zu wissen, was da drauf ist, ne? Das weiß niemand, was da drauf ist, ne? So gesehen. Könnten wir das eigentlich jedem zeigen. Die Pistole. Ja, die hat auch irgendwie halt keine Relevanz im Fall Franziska damit abgeschossen. Aber weiter wichtig ist ja nicht in diesem Case. Ich glaube, also das Videotape ist schon halt das, was am interessantesten wäre. Contents unknown, ja. Und der Killer wollte es violently zurückhaben, ne? Ich würde sagen, wir zeigen Shelly das Videotape. Aber who ist die Frage, oder jetzt? Who would you like to show the evidence to? Ja. Also wir wollen Shelly, the Killer, das Tape zeigen.
I see. And now, tell us, Court, what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person.
Oder? Also es muss ja irgendwas von den drei sein, ne? Sonst hätten wir die nicht bekommen. Ich meine, das ist jetzt das Finale. Es muss jetzt irgendwas mit den drei zu tun haben. Und das ist halt das, was am mysteriösesten ist. Von daher, let's go.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to the witness.
Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier.
Alright, looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape.
Ich thought so. Okay, das war das zweite von diesen 2, 3 anderen Dingen. I thought so.
I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard.
Do you know the contents of this tape?
I was sternly told by my client to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea.
Actually, you are on this tape.
Me?
Ja, wenn's das Video ist, ja. There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded.
What?
Is that true, Mr. Wright?
Who was it that planted the camera?
Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Danke, Sheriff. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right?
Yes.
That was so they could film you.
I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why.
Why did Matt on guard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They, hat uns gesagt, they wanted to blackmail you. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said.
But I'm no weakling, I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright, assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want.
Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Charlie the Killer?
It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning.
Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have a question for the witness.
Yes.
You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all.
Yes, that's right.
What about if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then?
That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment.
I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around.
Mr. Wright.
Yes?
My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item.
What the? I'm not an item.
Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. Ja, dann haben wir es geschafft.
This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I am sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and... Miss von Karma, where did that...
She always has you in her sights. Now I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. On Guard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. Well, before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Get fucked. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video.
Help me.
Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please.
Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you.
Right, Chief. Was auch immer wir wollen. Also wenn wir ihn nicht schuldig sprechen... Ja, nee, wir dürfen ihn nicht schuldig sprechen. Weil dann ist Adrian... Dann ist Adrian ja am Arsch. Wir müssen ihn schuldig sprechen. Aber das Ding ist, wenn er nicht schuldig wäre, dann wird er halt abgemurkst. Ja, also es klang jetzt auch so, dass es nicht so eine krasse Entscheidung wäre jetzt. Von daher, ich mache einfach mal guilty. Weil ich will ja nicht Adrian hier in Schwierigkeiten bringen. Met on guard. Even though I am a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here.
Me? My wonderful self? Guilty?
Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it. You can't run away from a crime anymore.
No! Guilty!
Aua.
As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth.
We? I don't remember you helping me out much this time.
Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard?
I have left Miss von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full course meal of whipped leather right about now.
Very good.
Ja, das ist wirklich gut.
That was a close one, wasn't it, witness?
Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. Guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. Yeah, she has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Ja. Harte Worte. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen a smile. I am really happy that you two were in charge of this case.
I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about, but everyone seems to be in good spirits. And that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Dies. Defendant lobby.
You are great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time, but you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make.
Ja, das haben wir gesehen. Let's see a statement.
Can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? My client, met on guard, is... Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you.
Right. Edgeworth, I have good news. Maya's now safe in police custody.
Really? Girls, did you tell the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, she's quite safe. He's on her way here, as we speak, in the patrol car.
Ah, Mystic Maya's safe! You did it, you really did it, Mr. Nick.
Ow, she punches deceptively hard for a kid.
I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her, Mr. Nick will save her. Ah!
Oh, thanks.
Ow.
What's wrong?
Miss von Karma.
Hi.
Danke.
Ne? About earlier, thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? You lost. Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy.
I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss von Karma.
How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago.
Edgeworth?
For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. Felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened. So I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well as you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with a defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change.
What foolish nonsense.
The prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did, so... No matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? Doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses, the truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy, we claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always, eventually, reach for that one single truth. This I promise you.
The truth?
Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding, isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, ran away into the night.
Ah, is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago.
Oh, guck dir kleinen Edgeworth an.
And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that Miles Edgeworth, that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least that's what I told myself.
You pathetic fool.
Miss von Karma.
I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over.
Franciscus threw something on the ground just now.
This is an electromagnetic receiver.
Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe?
I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else.
Ah, isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip?
I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this up, right? You should keep this right. Okay.
Nick!
Ach, wahrscheinlich Maya. Maya!
Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya!
No.
Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got convicted, like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me.
Well, of course I did. You know, I would never desert you. But we sure pressured our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here.
Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly.
Is it really that easy to do something like that?
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Don't mention it. Maya?
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm relieved you're alright.
Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago.
Alright, I think it's time we get out of this depressing place.
Huh? Where are we going?
Food, Nick, food! Grub, chow, I'm starved. I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick.
Okay. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least.
Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please.
If you insist.
Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint?
Oh, das war Phoenix.
Don't be silly, Nick.
Huh?
This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast.
Another feast?
Come on, Nick. Food!
Food! Okay, Gatewater Hotel, hotel lobby.
Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Gumshoe, are you alright?
Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole, of all things.
Wow. Okay. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him. You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking.
Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai.
Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If we don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone's gathered around. You're gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lara brought herself a new camera.
Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, detective. Huh? Me? You really think so?
He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending.
Well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I'm sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of the items in my coat pocket is in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item?
Come on, y'all, it's over. But oh boy, I tell you, you're really something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that?
We're being shut away for 2 whole days. Aren't you scared?
Ja, 2 Tage, Junge. Ich wäre gestorben.
Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So I keep my mind off of things. I drew a picture.
Sounds like I had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours?
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mr. Meyer's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. No, it's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway.
Huh. Sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. Beep beep. What is jetzt los? Huh? What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up.
That's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. Can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me.
That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, tracking device seems to be in a different location.
Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir.
Well, doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. Still have some work to do.
Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet.
And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight, now if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just want to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. Huh. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right?
feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. Anything I can give him? Ist ein Glas Tomatensaft. Hier, ein bisschen was zum Lesen, oder? Ein riesen Teddybär. Pistole, die Whip vielleicht? Von Franziska? Thrown away by Franziska von Carmel. It has certain mysterious nostalgia to it. Ja, je, steht euch doch nahe. Komm, nimm doch die Peitsche. Komm. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. But Pearly, why would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me. And anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh? Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I can already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me in a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for $3,000. Huh? 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 Actually, I bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Come on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Okay, alle zusammen. Okay, noch nicht. Alright then, if you say so. Objection! Und damit sind wir am Ende. Ich kann schon nicht mehr sprechen. Also, es gibt ja noch hier, ne? You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really felt like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. Ja, das kann ich ja nicht, mal reden hier, wenn hier die ganze Zeit noch hier so, ne? Outro-Szenen kommen. I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick, and I'm so happy for the two of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for... so I sort of made reservations for the two of you, just in case. For what? Ich hab's nicht lesen können. Ist sie nicht immer noch minderjährig, ne? Achso, ne? Nur mal so nebenbei. Gumshoe. Well, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me I heard he said things like, letting that one go is so bad for all society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. Headlong. So. Ja. Aber schönes Spiel. Das Einzige, was noch schöner ist der nächste Teil. Hi, Maggie Bird. I'm retiring this uniform, but I'm going to be a waitress from now on. Okay. And bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. Ich weiß gar nicht, was ich hier für Stimme gegeben habe, aber egal, das ist schon lange her. Aber ich glaube, die kommt sogar noch mal vor im nächsten Teil. Die gute Maggie. Ach, er Yes, are you here to visit the patients? Director Hardy. Recently, yes, the girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes, but I remember if I laid so much an eye on her, I would go crack. Didn't matter if I got whipped though. Yes, oh. Ich brauche noch mal ein Schlückchen hier. War eine lange Episode.
It's time to begin our quest of and to let the world know we are serious. I plan to make a fabulous flight to irgendwas.
Hey, Max, what do you think there are castles made of cake, bunnies who can talk?
I think there are any talking bunnies. Even they won't laugh at most jokes.
Alter, ich konnte das irgendwie so schlecht lesen, Alter. Okay. Nee, also, nee. Got a new act all worked out. Say something, will ya? You're supposed to start us off. Get on with it. Wir müssen jetzt auch noch überlegen, ne, was wir als nächstes Let's Playen dann, ne? Aber dazu später. Ich habe ja hier noch ein paar Szenen hier. What's this, Drat? It's just an ordinary electric razor recharging. I can't believe this. Really? How long do they plan on making me do this? But it's Edgypoo's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? I was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world would call me Queen Wendy and treat me like a royalty. This is going to feel the pain of my heel and of Baron playing with fire is very dangerous, where they store this. Genau. Sehen wir die Oldback wieder im dritten Teil? Ich weiß gar nicht. Ich habe irgendwie so das Gefühl, nein. Was mega geil wäre. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her. I'm really thankful to have met everyone.
Kein Problem, Digi.
Ich glaube aber nicht, dass ich direkt mit Ace Attorney 3 weitermachen werde.
It has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with irgendwas. Und das war's. Tschüssi.
Ja, ich weiß gar nicht, ob wir weitermachen mit Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, der letzte Teil der Trilogie, oder ob wir erst noch was anderes machen. Das ist jetzt hier die Frage. Sind wir jetzt am Ende? Oh, es gibt noch eine Post-Credit-Scene. Post-Credit. International Departures, Gate 12. What? Flughafen. Where are you going, Franziska? Wahrscheinlich Edgeworth, ne? How did you know I was here? With this? That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. Huh. That's just like you. And he planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy, drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, told me something very interesting. Ja, er hatte 4 Sachen. Eins ist noch in seinem Mantel. 4 things? Seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up. You don't understand a thing.
You can't possibly understand what it means to be a Manfred von Karma's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have always been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you?
Oh, das war, wie die Peitschen gegeben haben.
I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything as I've been until today. I believe you can, just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews. You are going to use her during the trial, right? But you are dependent on your father by using his tactics, isn't that right? Puh. Today you chased after me, after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma. I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. So, you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix Wright, one day, someday, was das? I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Ich glaube, sie. Until then, this is the last piece of evidence that never made it to you. I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Oh, Meyers Zeichnung. Auf der Karte, die hier am Boden lag. Und da kommt das Intro wieder. Na? Da ist es. Ja, wir sind durch, Leute. Das war das Ende von Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. In der letzten Episode Farewell My Turnabout. Und ja, jetzt bleibt nur noch der letzte Teil. Trials and Tribulations. Also dieser Teil. der meiner Meinung nach auch beste Teil der ganzen Trilogie. Also das Beste kommt also zum Schluss. Ist nur die Frage jetzt, wie ich vorhin schon angesprochen habe, wollen wir jetzt überhaupt mit Phoenix Wright schon wieder weitermachen? Ich habe ja so ein bisschen das Gefühl, könnte vielleicht mittlerweile ein bisschen too much sein. Vielleicht wollt ihr auch was anderes. Ihr könnt eure Meinung dazu gerne in die Kommentare schreiben. Es gibt einiges, was wir auch tun könnten statt Phoenix Wright. Zum Beispiel könnten wir wieder zu Pokémon zurückkehren und beispielsweise Pokémon Schild zocken in einer Nass- oder Wetlock. Vielleicht eher Wetlock, weil mir hat damals die Diamant-Wetlock hat mir sehr gut gefallen und könnte man eigentlich mal wieder machen, sowas. Problem ist nur, ich habe schon so lange kein Pokémon mehr gespielt, ich bin wahrscheinlich ein richtiger Kacknoob und werde total sterben. Aber wäre eine Möglichkeit. Wir könnten auch Minecraft Ultra Hardcore Season weitermachen, Season 4. Die letzte Season 3 ist ja nicht so gut gelaufen. Vom Drachen zerschnetzelt, gar keine Chance gehabt. Wir könnten auch mal wieder ein Zelda-Let's Play machen. Skyward Sword zum Beispiel. Kam ja gerade die HD-Version raus für die Switch. Das wäre sogar noch blind. Würde ich zum ersten Mal spielen. Oder was ganz anderes wie Mario Odyssey habe ich auch noch. Das wäre auch blind. Habe ich auch bisher noch nicht gespielt. Ja, oder wir machen halt Phoenix Wright zu Ende direkt. Könnte man auch machen. Oder was ganz anderes, weiß ich aber nicht. Irgendwie sowas wie Dead by Daylight oder Mario Maker oder Pokémon Unite, ich weiß nicht. Das sind halt so, keine Ahnung, sind halt keine Story-Spiele so gesehen, ne? Von daher weiß ich nicht, ob ich sowas auch machen möchte. Na, ich überlege es mir und gerne, wie gesagt, wenn ihr eine Meinung habt, gerne in die Kommentare schreiben. Ja, da bin ich gespannt, was als nächstes kommen wird. Mal gucken, ich weiß ja noch nicht. Es wird auf jeden Fall, erstmal eine Pause geben. Also ich werde nicht direkt weitermachen, sondern gönn mir mal eine kleine Auszeit. Ich weiß auch nicht, wie lange. Wir werden sehen. Ja, aber, Leute, ich hoffe, euch hat das Let's Play gefallen. Mir hat es definitiv sehr gefallen. Mir gefällt Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney immer noch mega geil, sehr geiles Spiel. Und ich freue mich, wenn wir dann den letzten Teil hier auch noch angehen. Das wird heftig. Das wird krass. Ja, und von daher würde ich sagen, sehen wir uns dann beim nächsten Let's Play wieder. Was auch immer das sein mag. Und bis dahin, macht's gut, Leute. Und tschö.